So we're going to do a box first. We'll do a line like this. Or another one. Another line. We'll add, we'll straighten this up a little bit maybe. Straighten it up like that. Like I say, don't worry about mistakes. Okay, in our box here. Now, you probably remember this. This is a box, and basically this is a 2-point perspective. So, and we're going to kind of outline our ground plane shadow, which would be something like this, possibly. Something like this. Maybe it might come across like that. Now we've got that set up. So let's do a little shading in here. This is going to be our shadow side. And this particular plane here is going to be our front plane. We got to give it a little value. So if we want the top plane to stay pure white of the paper, and the shadow, we're going to just scribble it in real good. Remember, cast shadows are darkest right up under the object. We're going to make this good and dark. You see, these gel pens are great for that. Good darks. Make it real dark. Now, this is more of a concept for a rock, believe it or not. This is a basic concept. You got your shadow side. You've got a plane that's not in direct view of the light, direct line of our light, since our light's coming more or less from above. And you've got a top plane that's in direct light. And you've got a cast shadow that anchors it to the ground. So we're going to do another box. I'm going to do this one very lightly. And there's a reason I did this one lightly. Within this, we're going to construct a rock. Now, that's our contour for our rock. Now we're going to shadow it. This is where the form comes in. got to think of the form of that rock. What I'm putting in now is the shadow. And it's following the form of that rock. I'm imagining that rock is more of a smooth rock. Now I'm going to put in my core shadow. I just scribbled it in as such. Now I'm going to darken this area right here a little bit. Yeah, a little bit right here. I want to keep some of this light down here. When I put my cast shadow, it will appear as reflected light. So we're going to see it's a round rock. So our shadow is probably something like this. Somewhere like that. That'll be our shadow. By contrast, this cast shadow lightens up the bottom of that rock. Contrast is very important. We're going to darken it real good right up under there. Maybe I'll darken it a little bit more right here in this area. And we want this rock to, you can have this rock any way you want it. It can be smooth, or we'll put some little indentations in it. Most rocks have a little indentations and crevices. Now, we're going to do another rock, this time without the box. So, and maybe we'll make this one a little bigger. Have it standing. And we'll shape it. We can shape it any way we want to shape it. And we can put another one right here maybe. That's our contours for our rocks. Now, put in our shadow. Shadow core. And I'll do something with the surface of this rock. I'm going to darken this area right here. Darkening that, it adds a little more contrast and makes this rock stand out. And right down here is going to be a little bit dark. Now we're going to do the same with this one. It's a very simple way to get a real solid rock. And we'll add a little bit of that cast shadow right here. Now, these two rocks were done, as you can see, without the aid, but it's the same concept as doing this particular cube. We can make this as dark as we want it by changing the direction of our lines on our cross-hatching. Let's see if we want to make maybe another taller rock, let's say. And for now, we'll stay right in this area. This time, maybe we'll make one a different shape. Now, one of the first things we got to do is decide on, do we want this to have a front and back, whatever. So I'm going to decide on a dividing line. First of all, now I can do my crosshatch right up to that area. Now that signifies the shadow side of this rock immediately. Now within this side, I can actually break it up and have all type of little indentations in areas on the rock to make it look kind of rough. And maybe down, let's see, up here, maybe, where do we want it? First we'll put in a cast shadow. Try to do it in the shape of the rock. Cast shadow in here. Now let's see, do we want it darker up here or down here? I think this time, let's see, try an effect down here. And even on the back of this rock, that may be irregular areas. Just change some of the direction of our cross hatching. You don't have to press any harder. And that will give an illusion of shadow. And we can make this a little bit like this. I'm cross hatching very lightly. It's not necessary to press too hard with these gel pens. You get a nice dark value. And let's see. Okay, now, it's very obvious. It's pretty easy to make rocks. Now here is, move this up a little bit. This is a very easy technique on drawing trees in mass. We're going to try, first we're going to put a trunk in, and we're going to put it straight here. As such. Now, you got to think of a mass shape of a tree from a distance. What it would look like in mass. And just start to scribble in any way, as long as you get a certain shape. I'm going to go for a certain shape here. Starting to take shape a little bit. Be a little fuller out here. Now what we're going to do, remember this is a tree at distance. So the first thing, the trunk is going to be completely black. Want this trunk completely black. And another secret is up here, as the trunk goes up into the body of the tree, you will see a kind of a silhouette of it, just slightly. And we want it darker near that area. And as it gets out to the outer extremities, it's lighter, as you'll see. Fill in all the light areas here. And keep that shape. Keep that dark right here. Imagine that from a distance. Now, that's one tree. We're going to put another tree right beside it. We'll start out with our trunk. Maybe this one is back, well, we could say, I got it on the ground level here. We want it behind that one. Therefore, we want to make this ground level. We'll make this tree about right here. Have our dark trunk. And we're going to do the same thing. Only this time, we're going to leave just a little space between, once we get the shape of this tree. You can see where I went to a smaller format. You really want to get in and take your time and do some good shadowing and the scribbling to get this effect. And it's hard to do on a large scale. You want to get nice and tight here. Fill this in a little bit more. We want to get that almost touching, but leave just that little bit of space in between it here. And we will just kind of go in between here, make this a little more irregular. Now we'll do another one. This is another tree, and this one's over here maybe. It's pretty close to that one. And I'm kind of doing some of this as far as so it can simulate a ground plane, which we will get into on down the way. And continue scribbling again. This is how we're going to start out. See, very easy. Now we want to get the shape of that tree. And we'll turn our hand this way. Now remember, don't go all the way up against that other tree. See, these trees are behind that one. You probably start seeing an illusion of a forest. Now we want to get this dark right along that trunk. When you see a mass of trees at a distance, this is what you see. See, that tree is behind that one. Now we'll try a different type of tree. Let's say we got some trees in the background here, and there may be a different species of tree. So we're gonna have one about right here. We'll make our trunk. Our trunk is coming up through here some kind of way. You see part of it, and it's coming up there like this. And we're going to make this kind of a pine-looking tree. And we're going to keep it back here in the back. And bring it all the way down to the ground. Like this. And maybe we'll put another one over here. Straight down. And maybe this time this one will be, we'll see some of the trunk. So what we're going to do, I'll scribble some of it right here. Some of this is behind, it's behind that tree. So and there could be another one right here. Put another spot right here for this one. And little by little, we're starting to develop a nice little forest here. Now let's say we do have a tree that's, we want to show a few branches in this same method. So what we'll do, maybe let's see, it goes out like this. Maybe it's going out like that. Something like that. And let's see. Now we first established our trunk. Using that same method, this is what we're going to do. We're not worrying about which direction so much that the light is coming from. This is at a distance or just in mass. This is also very helpful to get a little understanding of hand pressure with the pen. Sometimes you press hard, sometimes you don't. And you can feel a little more comfortable with the pen. See, I told you this one was going to be a lot easier in my previous video. Of course, we will do some more of that. But right now, okay, we've established that. Now we can establish our leaves. We want that core to be a little darker in here and lighten up as you go to the extremities, to the outside. As you notice, I'm doing a circular motion for these leaves. They'll look a little different than the other trees. Just little circles. These represent a clump of leaves. And this one I'll carry all the way over. We're going to make it so it looks kind of like a different type of a tree, different type of leaves. There's almost infinite types of trees. They all have their different silhouettes. They all look a little bit different. That's kind of thick, so let's make another branch right here. Make another branch. If we did something like that. Now it's beginning to look a little bit like a forest, huh? And who knows what's behind that? Let's see. Sometimes I'll make them touch, and other times they may not. But this is contrast. Whatever this is will make this rock stand out. That's kind of the idea behind some of this. Begins to make that rock stand out. Make it look like a little bit more foliage back here. That makes, this contrast makes those rocks stand out more, as you can see. I'm gonna have it real dark down here and not so much up here. But and to make them a little different trees. Stand out like that. And maybe, who knows what this could be over here. Right now I'm looking at contrast against these rocks. I want these rocks to stand out. So I'm putting up a foil against it. Just a dark contrast to make my rock stand out in the foreground. And let me go ahead and touch this one up a little bit. And I'm going to darken this a little bit more right in here. I'm not going all the way to the edge though. I want to leave that little bit of a light right on that edge. If you notice, I'm doing the ground. Now with the ground, in all my exercises, as I stated before, I'm going to have the light coming from the right. So the ground is, to me, is kind of important naturally as to which way the light's coming from, to make the ground look kind of irregular. And let's see, there it is here. And maybe we'll refine this a little bit more. And maybe we'll put another one. Let's see, where we could have another tree. Similar to that one back here. And as it comes up, you'll only see part of it. But it's back there. Make sure you show the trunk coming up through. That's what's very important. Gives it some kind of foundation. Now the same thing with a mountain. Mountains and rocks are the same. Uh, I can vary this any way I would like to. So what I'm going to do here is maybe this goes down, something like that. And we're going to have some of these trees go down. We'll keep the same format here, only they're going down. So we want to show them. Try to think of each individual tree going down the side of that mountain. And they get a little smaller due to perspective. A little bit smaller as they go down. And we could put a couple of, we're going to fill in a space right here. Begins to look more and more wooded. Now this is going down, so it's relatively a mountainous area. So we're going to show part of it here. Let's say, and maybe we'll come over here. This could come down like that. And let's see. Then we want to right away determine the light in the shadow area, just like we did this rock over here of this mountain. And let's see, do we want one back here? Let's see, we'll put this one here first. And we'll shade it the same way. And since mountains and rocks are infinite, who's to say what it looks like? You put it in any way you want to put it in. Your mountain, your rock. So we're going to just kind of put it in here. Let's see what we want to do. These are the little areas on this mountain. And I'm going to shade this in some more. I will turn my hand this way and I will crosshatch like this. And this time I'm going to show some areas back here in the shade, in the shadow area of that mountain. such. We've got that part of the mountain. And let's see, maybe we can do another one back here. Maybe we may make this one a little more of a, like that. And this mountain range, maybe it kind of goes in the distance. Get the feeling that it's going back that way. Okay, I don't like the side of that mountain, so I'll just straighten it out like this. I don't have to worry about erasing. Let's see, I'll make it jagged again, how I want to do it. Building up my mountain ranges. And the same thing here. I'm establishing my shadow side first. I've established my shadow side already. Now I'm going to go over here and put a few little details into it so it's not really all smooth. We don't want a smooth mountain. We want a rough mountain. Okay. And we can make that a little darker right in there. And we'll do the same for this one. Now, I'm beginning to get kind of a forest look. Maybe we need a few clouds, huh? Okay, we want to decide how we want to put these clouds in. Let's see. I'll have a few coming this way first. Something like that. And maybe some more would be in the distance, maybe. Like so. And they're behind the trees. This puts us a few clouds in. Now you begin to see, and we're going to bring this on down. I like a little contrast. As it gets further down here, who knows what's down here? There's a lot of trees, maybe. Got a lot of trees down this area. Forest continues on. Nice contrast. Now, okay, we're gonna go over here. And let's see, maybe we'll do another type of tree. I'm trying to think of, I've been studying some of them from a distance. So, we're gonna see what we can put over here. Uh, Maybe we'll do one that's, let's see. First, we want to decide where we want our ground. Let's see. Okay. Gotta figure out what I want to do over there right now. So, establishing a ground plane. Now, if we got a few sprigs of grass that are a little further away, we'll do it like this. And maybe as they get closer, they get a little bigger. And remember, as I said about growing grass, think about how grass grows. It grows from up, the ground up. And any leaves and plants, I like to draw those sometimes. I'm going to draw a leaf. And we're going to take it this way. And maybe we got another one coming out this way. Only it's maybe like this. And we can always put the little edges on the leaves later, see, like this. And we're gonna make that go back into the back like shadow. Let's see here, maybe we'll do another one. Yeah, we can always have a leaves turn. Little random foliage up under here. It's always okay to turn the page to get the right angle. And let's see, maybe I want this a little darker up under here. Something like that. And let's see what else we can do here. Of course, there's infinite things. Maybe we got a... We'll do something about this. Okay, it went over that way, so maybe this time, we're gonna make a pathway maybe. So, this is gonna be our pathway back there. About which way it's going. I'm just setting it up right now. And we're going to put some more trees over here. We're going to make this a mass forest. You will see some tree trunks. It'll start shaping up here in a minute. Remember, this is just a silhouette of trees, a forest. So it's going to be a mass. Maybe we got a few rocks all the way here along this path. I'll put some more foliage over here. Make this tree a little wider. Give it the eye feeling it. We want that to wind back. Maybe this road. Yes. Our path is beginning to shape up. We make it look like a lot of trees in the background. Yeah, like that. And maybe back here, got some clouds. Now we kind of got our path through the forest. And maybe this is, yep, all that smooth. It can be rocky. After all, it is in the forest, so it's not going to be that smooth. But it's a winding path. Makes you wonder, what's over here? What's down there? Well, who knows? But we maybe have a few birds over here too. Down in the bottom of the forest, it's a lot darker. You got more foliage, and as the trees go up, you begin to see more daylight. And I can put a big rock maybe right here. You only see one part of it. That gas shadow. And we'll make these rocks look there kind of in the ground more so than just sitting on top of it. Now our forest is beginning to shape up pretty good. Now we've got a winding path. We can establish that right here. just scribbles, just scribbling, all these trees. Now you begin to see what I was saying, what I was talking about as far as a mass instead of individual branches. In mass, from a distance, this is what you see. You begin to see a mass of trees. Right along here, I'm really darkening it and make these rocks stand out in contrast. Contrast is very important. Contrast is how you get a three-dimensional look. Dark against light, light against dark. This gives you your contrast. Make things stand out in your picture. Just kind of going through some of it now and refining some little areas, darkening up, making sure that, let's see, we darken it right down here. Gives the illusion of many more trees back in here. We've got our pathway. Where are we at? A little over an hour. As you can see, this could go on indefinitely. I've got all the rest of this paper to fill up. It's just your imagination. Whatever you want to think of, you can always put some more in here. If I wanted to put some rocks, let's say it was the edge of the cliff. And I thought about this here, and I want to do something like this. There's all kind of ways of doing this. Changing the landscape. Whatever you want to think of, you can do it. Change this landscape around. And it can go on and on and on. Anytime I do my rocks, and got a rock. Just that simple. These are just squiggles to make it look like irregular soil or dirt. You can go on and on forever doing that. There's no end to it. You see I've established a path going that way. This opens up my drawing. Instead of just having a flat landscape, you can go back this way. I can lead your eye that way and down this way with the mountains, and even back here. I could even, this could look like the end of, I could have more trees back there if I wanted to. Or just the idea of maybe a lot more foliage back here. Who knows? This is all contrast for the for this block. Remember, when you do the trees, leave just that little area on the edge so one tree can be distinguished from the others, and it'll give a feeling of atmosphere. Well, rather than to continue on, because each landscape is a world within itself. The next one will be different than this one as the one before. So I'm going to leave you with another landscape that I did, two more. This is a previous one right here. This was a landscape that I did, very similar in a way, a little different trees. And this was another one I did. I really spent a little time with this one, as you can see. Got my trees, and I kind of got into maybe say a root or tree, just something here that it's a little more cross-hatching, a little more involved. But as you can see, I started out with the cube, then I went over to rock again within the structure of a cube and started doing my rocks again. And this time I did a few different trees, just trying some different things. These are bushes. This was fun doing this one here. But these are some more trees. These are all with that same method of scribbling. That one. What else do I have on here? These are just some other doodles that I did. Heart by David, the things I'm working on. As you can see, just some little doodles and sketches. So I like this smaller format. I can get a lot tighter. What else did I have here? Let me see. Yeah, a few things that I did probably. Just doodles. Some landscape. Different little weird thoughts, rocks. Some of these I can turn into bigger drawings, different ideas. And back to this one. And finally, the main one that we just finished. So hopefully you can get a few ideas about massing in your trees. As you saw me complete this area right here, just scribbling. And when you get through, this is what it would look like from a distance if you were actually out in the forest. This is what you would see. So my next one, I will probably get off into something else maybe. You can leave any comments if you like. Ideas about stuff. Who knows what I may do next. We may get away from the landscape for a minute, I don't know. We'll come up with something. So until then, keep practicing, and Dave out.